I need to come clean about something in this video. It occurred to me this week that even though I pride myself on being what I think is transparent, open, honest, and vulnerable with you all on my channel, I have been hiding a really big part of myself lately without meaning to, and kind of lying by omission. And I just kind of wanted to set the record straight today. So let's get real and dive right in. Don't worry, I do not plan on this being a long video. I am hoping it will be short, to the point, and then just move on from it. But I've been getting, so I should start by saying, if you are no stranger to the channel, you know my typical content is sharing. I love to share my favorite places to explore, the new gems that I find, discovering new places and bringing you along with me, telling you all about the best campsites, tips and tricks that I've learned when it comes to car camping, traveling solo, all of that. And I still am planning on that being the focus of this channel. But as you know, if you are no stranger here, that more of my time that I would like to be spent adventuring and going to these new places with you has been taken up by my health journey. Specifically, the fact that my chronic illnesses, autoimmune conditions, have all kind of come to a head in this last year, and that 2024 has not been the year of content or trips or adventures that I thought I had carefully planned out. And as a result, I have been sharing, that with you as I have new updates. I've been sharing the impact that it's had, tips and tricks that I've learned to kind of cope with my body betraying me, and still trying to make adventures and travel and exploration possible and not give up on the joy and the beauty and the good parts of my life. And, so I've just been bringing you along with me. But I haven't brought you, obviously, 24 hours a day. You haven't seen me every single day. And let's be honest, I'm human, so on my bad days, or my really bad days, I'm not picking up the camera. Sometimes because I literally can't, but also because who wants to watch a video of somebody sobbing so hard that you can't even understand what they're saying? We all like to escape from our own problems when we log on to YouTube, or to learn something, or to be entertained. We don't just want to see straight grief without a purpose. So when I see all of the awesome, amazing, supportive, loving, just awesome comments from you guys, lifting me up, thanking me for sharing my story, telling me that it's helping you, I love all of that. But I'm also seeing so many comments of people telling me that I'm an inspiration to them, that I'm so brave, and I'm so strong, and I'm so positive all the time. And that kind of hit me like, I don't feel any of those things hardly ever lately. So am I being fake? And I really had to kind of look at myself like, what are these people seeing that I'm not seeing? And I realized that no, I'm not being fake, but I'm only showing you the parts of me that I'm capable of sharing. So like when it gets to the part where I'm just laying in bed and crying and have to pep talk myself just to get up to use the restroom, or when I'm counting the minutes until the kids get home from school on the bus to try to pull myself together so that it doesn't look like I've been sobbing in bed all day. you're not seeing those days. So I just want to assure you all that they are there. No, I'm not going to start showing them. Don't worry. This isn't going to turn into a sob fest channel where it's all bad all the time. I'm still going to share updates with you and hopefully progress, but I guess this video, I just kind of want to assure you all that no, I'm not this strong, positive warrior, Xena-like person that's just battling all of these unknowns and persevering through it all until I come out on the other side. Ironic, actually, because I feel like I'm two completely opposite people at the same time. Like, I've never in my life wanted to fight for something so hard than I have to get healthy again and to get my life back. Not really for me even, but for my kids, because I want to be the mom that they deserve. And I want to be the person that my family and friends and loved ones deserve for me to be for them. But at the same time, I've also never wanted to give up so bad and just throw up my hands and say, I'm done. I'm done trying. It's not worth it anymore. It's too hard. I quit. And both of those people are inside of me every day. Some days I feel like the more determined one is winning. Most days lately, I feel like the one that wants to give up is winning, because I feel like there's only so much I can do on my end without having the information I need. But anywho, I guess what I am hoping with this video is to convey to everybody watching that is going through something similar, or has a loved one that is going through something similar, trying to figure out a diagnosis that is more complicated than most, trying to fix your outside so that it can match your inside again, so that you can live your life again for the people that you need to be there for. I see you. I see all of you. And I'm not stronger than any of you. I'm not more well-adjusted than anyone else. I am struggling every day too. I'm scared of my own body. I'm scared of what's happening to it. I'm scared of the uncertainty of never knowing whether something like what happened, unexpectedly, where my body just shut down and became paralyzed temporarily, if something like that's going to happen again. Of always questioning, am I okay to hold off a little bit longer before I go to the hospital, or should I start going there or call somebody now in case I can't in a few more minutes? When I tell you that not 1 week goes by where I don't at least question once, do I need to go to the hospital right now, or is this just something that's going to pass like it normally does? All the time. I mean, I've only actually gone the once, and that was the time when I knew that if I didn't call for help and didn't get somewhere immediately, I wouldn't be able to. But that's the only time that I've actually gone, when, if I'm being honest with myself, I probably should have gone many more times than I did. Because all of the things that my doctors tell me, if this happens or this happens or this happens, you need to seek immediate help. Well, when most of those things on that list are things that I experience on a weekly, if not daily basis, it gets really hard to differentiate whether it's the normal awful or an emergency awful that you can't just wait to feel better from. So I get that. I totally get that. There have been so many times where I have texted or called my parents or my ex-husband to say, just a heads up, I might need to go to the hospital today. I'm going downhill fast. I'm going to take a shower, lay down in the dark. If things don't get better, I may need you to either take me to the hospital or, maybe take over kid duty. If you don't hear back from me, check in or something like that. I know they probably do not like getting texts like that or calls like that. But it's like, but I feel like I want to give somebody a heads up, because if I am being stubborn and I do wait when I shouldn't, or if something that I think is something that will pass like normal doesn't, I also don't want to pass out and just be alone in the house, while the kids are at school or with their dad or with their friends doing stuff, and then, nobody knows that I'm just dying on the floor. Obviously, I'm being dramatic, kind of. But it's like, there's always that back and forth in my head. Do I need to go now? Do I need to give somebody a heads up? So a few of you have commented on the whole medical ID bracelet, the Life 360 alert, where you can, the help I've fallen and I can't get up, push a button type thing. And I am going to seriously be considering getting those in the near future. But I want to stay focused here and point out to the well-meaning and maybe the not so well-meaning people that are, leaving comments that it's probably just menopause and stress, or you're just having a bad day. We all have them. I agree. A lot of us have bad days lately, and I am by no means in any way, shape, or form trying to minimize anyone else's experiences. I am just simply sharing mine in the hopes that it might help others, to document it as a video journal for myself to look back on, hopefully, from a much better place, ideally. And that is it. By sharing my experience, I can help just one other person not have to go through some of the things I've had to go through, or shorten the amount of time it takes to get the help they need, or to better learn how to advocate for themselves. This is 100% worth any mean, dismissive, or rude comment that I may get. But just know that I have not asked to be referred to any of these specialties. I have not asked for, with the exception of, asking to rule out Lyme disease and things like that I thought maybe with my lifestyle could be a potential. I have not asked for any of these referrals. I did not ask to be sent to Mayo. I did not ask for all of these neurological and, jabbing needles in all of my muscles and my spine type tests, because I am trying to find out something wrong with me. There is something very wrong with me, and I am simply doing my best in following the people that are supposed to be trained to know the best, by following their direction and guidance, and trying to do everything I can to get the answers needed to heal myself. So I can assure you I am not looking for any more diagnoses. I have more than enough. I am currently actively treating with 6 specialties, and I have active diagnoses, at least one, most more than one, with each of those specialties. I have had dozens of diagnostic tests, dozens of lab tests and screenings, very invasive procedures that I most certainly would not have wanted to do if the doctors did not feel they were warranted. But with our healthcare system the way it is in the United States, they are required to rule out a bazillion things before they can look for other things, or it won't be approved by insurance. So you end up doing a lot of preliminary testing that you don't expect to really have much come of in order to get to the testing you need. You have to see certain specialties before you can be referred to others. You can't just say, look, I have every symptom in the book for MS. I think I have MS. I'm going to go to a neurologist and tell them and then see what needs to be done. No, you have to comply, especially if you have paid in for disability benefits and you are hoping to get those partial benefits while you are looking for care. So it is a long, drawn-out process that is not care-based, but it is insurance, money, billing, and diagnostic-based. You end up waiting months in between appointments, months for specialties, months for tests. I have literally wasted almost an entire year of my life just looking for answers at this point to even know how to begin to get back to my adventures and functioning and being able to drive out of my own driveway in this van that I love going around in so much. This video has gotten way away from me, so I am just going to mention 2 more things in this that I have learned that I think are very important to pass along, and then we're just going to wrap this up, and hopefully from here on out, with the exception of an update, if and when I have one, we can get back to the fun stuff. The first thing I want to say is if you have allergies, known allergies like medication, certain things that you cannot have in the hospital, even if they are aware, and even if they put that red allergy bracelet on you, do not rely on them to not administer the thing that you are allergic to. I twice now had the allergy band on my wrist because it has become apparently clear that I do not tolerate contrast any longer. You know, like the contrast in CT scans, MRIs, those kind of things. And within 24 hours or so, they start to produce an almost anaphylactic type reaction. My difficulty swallowing gets worse. I can actually feel my throat constricting. My heart rate that normally spikes randomly with my tachycardia issues throughout the day is literally going like a motor 24/7 to where I feel like it's just going to fly out of my chest, and I am literally sitting up over 24 hours straight just with my heart pounding up in my throat. So even with all that, even with explaining all of that, and even with being assured that nobody would give me contrast, I had the bracelets, it was in my charts. I was given contrast in the hospital, which was the time, I don't think I shared with you guys, that I projectile vomited, all in the MRI machine, sorry, TMI. And then my neurologist, even knowing all of that, at my post-hospitalization follow-up, when we were discussing the fact that I apparently had a stroke sometime this last year that I did not know about based on my MRI in the hospital, which I'm not even going to get into that today because I still can't wrap my head around that, and that is just too terrifying to get into right now. But after discussing all of this and the fact that they want to do an MRA now, something I didn't even know existed, which is basically an MRI but for your arteries, to see a possible obstruction or to see if I'm possibly showing anything that would indicate that I am a seizure risk or at imminent risk of having another stroke again, is my understanding of why they're doing it. The doctor said, okay, we're going to go ahead and order this. Don't worry, we'll put the order through without contrast. Guess what? I get a call to schedule my MRA, and it is for an MRA of the brain with contrast. And so I again explained the allergy and the fact that it was supposed to be ordered without. So when I saw my neurologist this week, he basically told me, okay, we'll do it without, but most likely you're not going to get good enough images to get anything from it. And when I explained that, I can't really afford a super expensive test that is going to be useless. The facility mentioned that they can pre-treat at the time if contrast is needed, that they can pre-treat for an allergy, like with an antihistamine or something simultaneously to kind of prevent the allergic reaction. And I was basically told, well, If you're going to insist that you have this allergy, like it's me that's coming up with it and not like, provable, then it's really not worth the risk. We'll see if we can get usable images first, and then if it is useless, we'll just reorder it again. Keep in mind that'll be like in another month with contrast and pre-treat for allergies that time, hoping that we'll get better images. So this is just the kind of shenanigans that you have to deal with. So it is so, so, so important that you are on top of that allergy. I'm pointing because of the bracelet, which did no good. If you know that you have an allergic reaction to something, even if a doctor orders it, speak up. Because if I would have just said, okay, sure, scheduled the appointment, had the MRA, and then this time actually gone into anaphylactic shock, that would have been on me because, I knew I was allergic. Why did I do it? You know what I mean? So be very careful about any medications, any allergies. And the last piece of advice that I have learned that I'm going to leave you with, and then hopefully there will be no more medical videos for a while until I can finally say, hey guys, guess what? I have this and this is the treatment plan. And that is, make sure you read your own results. When the test results come in, do not rely on the doctor's office to give you accurate results, and do not count on those results being accurate on their own. Read them. I will give you 2 examples. The first, my ultrasound earlier this year mentioned that my thyroid gland was normal, healthy, and unremarkable in size, appearance, etc. Well, that would be good news if I had a thyroid gland, but I have no thyroid. So the fact that I actually have a radiology report stating that my thyroid was examined and in normal parameters is frankly terrifying to me, because if I hadn't have caught that myself by reading the report, these are the records that are in your chart when you do get hospitalized, and the doctors are pulling up your chart and saying, oh, thyroid looks good, let's check, when you don't even have one. And then they're going to look at you and say, what the heck happened to your thyroid? So you have to make sure your records are accurate. Another example that just happened this week with my neurologist, as I'm reading the report and I'm noticing, through the diagnoses, because I'm having to submit updated information for my disability claim through my employer so that I don't lose my little measly benefits that are not enough to pay for anything. I see that the diagnosis is chronic migraines without aura, and then my other diagnoses. And I said, well, this doesn't mention the ones with aura too. Is there a reason? And he said, migraines with aura are ones that have visual disturbances, like ocular migraines. Your vision will get all wonky. And he starts explaining it to me like I don't know what it is. And I had to remind him that, yes, those were actually the first migraines this year that I experienced. My very first one, where I completely lost my vision for 20 minutes and was told that it was an ocular migraine or migraine with aura, and that I actually had migraines with aura for months before the regular migraines that feel like migraines started up and getting worse as well. So, and then he had the audacity to say, oh, you want me to correct your chart then and mention that too? Yes, I want my chart to be accurate and reflect the diagnoses that we've already discussed, that you've already given me. Why would I not want it to reflect that I have migraines with visual disturbances if I do, and if this has already been confirmed by you guys and the eye doctor? And it was like he got huffy and having to go back and change the chart and then update the notes. So that's just 2 examples right there. I've probably missed a lot, but I am just sharing that with you all so that you know, and this is one of the best neurologists in the area. So it's not like, oh, you just found a crappy doctor. This is the norm now when it comes to medical records. There is so much copying and pasting going on because they are so overwhelmed. You just need to, unfortunately, be your own advocate and your own healthcare provider as well, and make sure that everything is being recorded accurately, and that if you have any questions, you're speaking up. If something doesn't look right, you're speaking up. And then I'm done talking for now, because this kind of took a tangent and ended up going back into the advice thing when I really just wanted to call myself out as the poser that apparently I feel like I've been to you guys. So we'll just wrap it up by saying that no, I am no inspiration. I am no Xena warrior goddess. I am no superstar with this amazing positive outlook all the time. Most of the time I feel despair, fear, uncertainty, anxiety, wondering, am I even going to feel better at this point? So I am not Little Miss Sunshine, and I guess I just wanted you all to know that. All right, that's all. I'm going to shut up. Next time, I promise, will be a better video. Thanks for sticking with me. Bye.